As many of y'all know, we just went through a Libra South Node Solar Eclipse, which is a new moon. And earlier this year, I created an astrological calendar where these happenings would show up on your calendar. Let me show you. As you can see, the Libra eclipse is here, and I've written a lot that's helpful for folks. This shows up exactly on your Google Calendar. If this is something you're interested in, you can sign up for it on my newsletter at theoutlaworacle.com. But let's dive in. So I've printed out that calendar entry that's provided on my astrological calendar, and I'm going to dive in now to the messages for today. So this Libra New Moon is a South Node solar eclipse, and it happens at 10 degrees 4 minutes of Libra. And a new moon is normally a time to plant seeds or set intentions, but eclipses are especially transformative, and they're potent, and they reverberate for about 6 months and sometimes up to 18 months, because that's how long the eclipse cycles take in each of those signs. Because eclipses are said to eclipse things in and out of our lives, it can feel chaotic or disruptive. And because of this, personally, I choose to not set any intentions on these type of new moon eclipses. I just kind of like to watch, observe, let the energy settle. But you can choose to work with this energy however you want. In Libra, this is the sign of the scales or justice. It's a diplomatic sign that's focused on balance and justice, and especially as it's related to our personal lives and our personal goals. So if something feels out of balance, now is a really great time for you to be re-envisioning what a reciprocal and balanced exchange would look and feel like. Being that this eclipse is on the collective South Node, this is a time for us to release anything that we feel like we need to let go. So this is a time to leave situations that don't feel balanced, or places where you might feel exiled and othered, and to bring back home the parts of yourselves that maybe have been exiled and othered by other people. That's one of the really healing things that can be done. And I say that all because this new moon is conjunct Black Moon Lilith. And if you know the story of Lilith, you know that she was exiled and othered and kicked out of the Garden of Eden for standing up for herself. And so, you know, one thing that's tricky about this moon is that because it's in Libra, it deals with power and balance and justice and this feeling of like wanting to get vengeance or wanting to get your justice. And I think the medicine really is in coming to terms with the tension of those opposites, not necessarily reconciling it or finding any quote unquote peace, but instead finding peace within yourself with the things that have been revealed to you. Here's an excellent tip. This moon, being on 10 degrees of Libra, has a Sabian symbol, and here's what that says. Having passed safely through narrow rapids, a canoe reaches calm waters. Here, we're taking a look at our emotional life, the waters, and the self-control and the determination that it took for us to navigate life as an individual, which is the canoe, as well as the peace and the stability that comes with the perspective we gain on the other side of life's emotional rapids. So that's exactly speaking to what I just mentioned. With this being conjunct Black Moon Lilith, you may be very aware of the ways in which you are being mistreated, and you may want to seek justice. But how can you gain some perspective and move differently, knowing that some people just aren't able to give you the reciprocal exchange that you offer? So, as you observe this new moon and solar South Node eclipse, I want you to think about the areas of your life in which you've navigated some rough emotional waters and lived to tell the tale. Ask how those experiences and your gained perspective can inform you as it relates to the ways that you need balance or fairness in your world now. Is there a need for you to hold your ground or ask for equivalent exchange? Or is there a way that you can provide that for yourself when it is lacking in that exchange? What's the best way for that to be so for you? Calm the waters of your mind and plant seeds in the knowing that your future self will be equipped for whatever may arise on this river of life, no matter what eclipse season may bring the next 6 months. So if you want to go deeper, you can look into the house in your natal birth chart where this new moon falls. Look for 10 degrees of Libra. For example, if this new moon falls in your third house, it's focused on your mind, your communication, your immediate environment, like neighborhood, friends, siblings, neighbors, cousins. But if it's in your 10th house, you'd want to focus on your career and your public standing as it relates to these eclipse energies. And I must always tell you, it's always best to wait until the new moon is exact or after before setting your intentions, because we don't want to set intentions when the moon is waning and losing in power. We want to wait until it's reborn as a fresh new moon, which is why I waited an hour after this eclipse was exact to share this. So now's the time if you want to be thinking about ways to get balance and reciprocal exchange in your life. But I would say, I would avoid doing any spell work or anything of that nature during an eclipse. They're just so unpredictable. I think the time is better served in you observing and noting your observations and seeing the ways in which that can inform the way that you move in the future and who you will and won't invest your time with. Because if you're seeing that there's a very imbalanced exchange, you're the one that can remedy that by simply extricating yourself, just as Lilith did. I hope this is helpful. Happy new moon, solar eclipse in Libra. Bye, y'all.